What do you get when you drop a piano in a battlefield? A flat major. You get it because like the major in an army and then A flat from the piano and it makes him flat. Hey everyone, it's David, and in our last episode we talked about a few important concepts in music theory, including pitch, octaves, half steps and whole steps, accidentals, and scales. If you missed that last episode or just aren't familiar with basic music theory, you might want to check that one out first. Today we'll continue by talking about the pitches of an ocarina and the finger positions you'll use to play several scales. But first let's talk about the key of your ocarina. When not referring to the piano, the term key is used to identify the first pitch of a scale, in our case the major scale. Most ocarinas are actually crafted around a single key, and this is also known as the ocarina's tuning. Usually when you cover all the finger holes, it'll give you the first pitch, revealing the ocarina's tuning. On well-tuned ocarinas, the size and placement of the finger holes are specifically designed to play a scale with ease, particularly in the key of the ocarina. For example, this transverse ocarina is tuned to the key of C, because the first pitch is C and the finger holes are sized and arranged in such a way that it plays a C major scale. Now, because ocarinas come in different styles and sizes, many people may not have one tuned in the key of C or an ocarina with these fingerings. So instead of relating the finger holes to a specific key or the musical alphabet, we can generalize it by simply addressing the pitches of the major scale. In music theory, the pitches of the major scale are commonly referred to as scale degrees, and each scale degree has a specific name. The first degree is called the tonic, and is considered the most important because the other scale degrees revolve around it. The second is known as the supertonic. The third is called the mediant. The fourth is the subdominant. The fifth is known as the dominant. The sixth is the submediant. And the seventh is the leading tone. If you've ever taken singing lessons or sang in a choir, you may also be familiar with solfege, which is a system of syllables used to identify the scale degrees with singing. All this is good information, but for the sake of simplicity, we'll stick to the numerals. Now we can relate this back to the transverse, pendant, and even inline ocarinas, and as you can see, each one has different fingerings. Now let's say we wanted to play Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, and you have an ocarina tuned to C. Using the scale degrees, it would go something like this. It actually doesn't matter what key your ocarina is tuned in because each one starts on the same scale degree. Let's try the same song with an ocarina tuned in a lower key. Now this works great for the ocarina if the song fits within your instrument's range, but what if there are some notes that are too high or too low? Looking at the song Amazing Grace, we can see that it begins with the 5th scale degree, whereas most 12-hole ocarinas don't go any lower than the 6th scale degree. So what would be the solution here? The answer is transposition. Transposition is simply moving the notes of the song into another key so that it fits well within your instrument's range. To do this, we'll move the tonic from the first finger position up to the 4th. However, when this is done, we now have to take accidentals into account. Looking at the C major scale, you can see that we have no accidentals, the same on the ocarina. But we just moved everything up so that the tonic is on the 4th fingering, what was the 4th scale degree. Doing the same thing on the keyboard, we would be beginning on F, and now the new 4th scale degree has a flat. So we must do the same thing with the ocarina. I apologize if that was really confusing. Feel free to watch it again. So now we have the range we need to play Amazing Grace. Let's see how it sounds. There. Wasn't that beautiful? Now, with just these two scales, you'll actually be able to play a ton of songs. And the more you practice them, the easier it'll be to play because you'll build up your finger dexterity and you'll be more comfortable with the location of the pitches. Depending on your ocarina's range, you probably have a few other scales that you can play, but we'll save that for another time because I'm sure you're confused enough already. So that's it for now. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next week.